What's going on, guys? Coach Vrushabh from Elevatte Fitness, and we're back with another video. Today we're taking you guys through an upper body hypertrophy workout. This is going to sit well in a general physical preparedness phase during your off season, and going to be good for sports like any sport that involves a lot of upper body stuff, upper body strength. And this we're going to pack on some muscle mass in our upper body, a lot of upper body. Now for today's hypertrophy workout, we're going to go over chest, back, shoulders, biceps and triceps, all those body parts. And we're going to hit them in a range of reps. So that's basically, we're going to use the first 3 exercises and train them in a 6 to 8 rep range. This is going to be from a strength and hypertrophy point of view. So there are certain body parts that can handle heavier loads, say something like your chest, back and shoulders can handle heavier loads than your bicep and tricep, or even within your shoulder like your rear delt, right? So there are certain exercises that we can use mechanical tension on, and we want to use mechanical tension on to get that hypertrophic stimulus. Then we'll move on to some accessory work where we'll start moving towards a 10 to 12 and a 12 to 15 rep range for areas like your rear delt, like I mentioned, biceps, triceps, stuff like that, where we're really going to do some slow twitch and fast twitch work and work in a wide variety of rep ranges. A lot of the times we do get asked what sort of rep range works well for hypertrophy, and the reality is it's going to differ from body part to body part. Not all body parts are the same. Some can handle heavier loads, some are there from a postural standpoint. Another thing is, does your sport require a lot of fast twitch work, slow twitch work, right? So a lot of the rep ranges and all will differ, and the answer is not going to be a simple number. The volume per body part will not be a lot, but the total volume of the workout is going to be a lot since we're hitting 5 major muscle groups. So make sure you guys warm up well and are ready to go for the workout. A key reminder, like a lot of my videos with hypertrophy, is going to be get the muscle to do the job of moving the joints, right? Movement occurs when the brain sends the signal to the muscle, which then contracts and then starts rotating about the joints, which then causes movement. And we're not going to do things very randomly or very momentum based. I want you guys to focus on that muscle to get the job of moving the muscle from point A to point B for whatever exercise that is. Keep that in mind and make sure all your movements are controlled, explosive where they need to be. First exercise is the chest incline dumbbell press. I've sort of chosen an incline exercise just so that I can target a little bit of more of that upper chest region. If you guys want to focus on a flat dumbbell press, that's completely okay. We're going to now train this for 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps, and we're going to train this on an RPE 8. So pick a weight that you probably can do 8 to 10 reps of and do 2 shy of that, so we're not training to failure. With the incline bench press, few things that you want to keep in mind. You want to focus on some slight scapular tensing, so that's basically squeezing the shoulder blades back slightly. That's going to give you guys the upper body rigidity on the bench. Second, keep your feet planted on the ground and your glutes squeezed throughout the exercise. And like I mentioned earlier, take the muscle through its entire range of motion. So from the bottom position all the way to the top, we want to use the muscle to do its job. So at the bottom, don't use a lot of momentum or bounce to just push off. Use the muscle to push yourself up, and as you reach the top, contract and explode. Next, we're moving on to a back exercise. We're going to be doing pull-ups for this one. If you do not have enough strength to do pull-ups, you can do some inverted rows, which is like a TRX inverted rows or inverted rows of a Smith machine or a barbell. Worst case, you can even go on to lat pull downs. But again, like with the incline dumbbell press, we're going to be doing 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps, saving 2 reps in the tank, not going to failure. With pull-ups, the important thing is, at the top, I don't want a lot of shoulder shrugging at the top, so I don't want to do a lot of impingement issues in the front of my shoulder. And at the bottom, as I go down, I want to feel a good stretch in my lat, not use any bounce or momentum, keep the movement control throughout the entire range of motion, and perform this for the prescribed number of sets and reps. The third primary exercise is going to be a landmine press for the front delt and the shoulder. This is going to be done on a landmine. So if you do not have this equipment, you guys can feel free to sort of do this as a seated dumbbell press. But why we're doing this on a landmine, it's just to sort of it's just an hypertrophy phase, so we're slowly building in. So I'm just avoiding a lot of spinal compression, not putting myself into overhead positions yet. And if you guys are okay with that, you can substitute the exercise as well. Again, like the previous two exercises, we're going for 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps and an RPE of 8. Moving on to single arm dumbbell rows. Now we're going back to a pull variation. This is going to be for your lats. So what we want to focus on with this is basically driving our elbows as close to the body as possible. We don't want any shoulders rolling forward or too much back. A tip that I'd give you guys is basically get a light grip on the dumbbell, not too light. Just get a light grip on the dumbbell. Don't do a lot of tensing of the forearms. I want you guys to think of basically there's a string attached at the back of your elbows that's breaking your elbows and driving your elbows back towards the wall or towards the ceiling, as we're going to have a slight torso angle in this. Go for 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps at an RPE of 9 for the first 2 sets and then fail on the last set. Next, we're moving on to a close grip dumbbell press. This is going to be done for 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps again. First 2 sets, we're doing it at an RPE of 9, saving 1 rep in the tank always. And then in the last set, we're going to failure. With this exercise, we're going to be setting the bench on a flat angle. And what I want you guys to sort of focus on is again that upper back tensing, which is the slight retraction of your shoulder blades. And this time we're going to squeeze the dumbbells together. And as we're pushing up, we're not going to go into full extension, as at the top you will probably have disengagement of the chest and the muscles, surrounding muscles. So we're just going to lock out, or just say slightly shy of locking out. Next, we're moving on to dumbbell lateral raises, doing this for 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. Do this at an RPE of 9, 9.5. We don't want to go to failure as such. One key thing that I want you guys to sort of focus on is a light grip on the dumbbell. And at the top, you always want your elbows slightly higher than your wrist. As you initiate the movement, I want you guys to sort of think of pushing away with that shoulder, not really doing a lot of work on the forearm that's lifting the dumbbell, but pushing away on that shoulder as we lift the dumbbell up, almost like pouring water out of a jar. And at the bottom, we're not coming in all the way into where we're disengaging the muscle. We're going to stay slightly out in an abducted position and then play from there. Moving on to some arm work. So this is a bicep tricep superset. We're going for dumbbell hammer curls, which is going to basically help with the brachialis, brachioradialis, all the muscles within the forearms and your biceps. And then we're supersetting that with a dumbbell skull crusher. So with the skull crushers, what we want to focus on is getting a good extension, good stretch through the tricep, and as we extend out, slightly twisting the dumbbell at the top, as you guys can see in the video. And we're doing this for 3 sets of 15 first, 12 next, 10 later, 10 for the last one. Lastly, for some rear delt work, we're going to be doing face pulls with a resistance band. If you have access to cables, you can do this with cables as well. And we're going for 2 sets of 15 reps. Key thing to focus on here is basically as you're pulling the cable or as you're pulling the band towards you, you want to drive your elbows back, making sure it's parallel to the ground, making sure your tricep is parallel to the ground. And as you get to sort of a 90-degree position, rotating, externally rotating, and as you come up, pulling the band apart or pulling the cables apart and then lowering back down in a slow controlled manner. Doing this for two sets of 15 reps. So that's it for today's upper body hypertrophy workout. I hope you guys liked it. If there are any exercises that you want to substitute, or there are any pieces of equipment that's not available to you, always substitute these exercises to exercises that are within a level of difficulty and that you can do possibly as well with the resources available to you. And always apply some things within your own settings. Lastly, always train hard, eat right, recover well, and conquer performance.